How do cars do anything without hands?
That is true.
Like, when cars fix each other, how do they fix? How do they work on cars?
Yeah, do cars work on other cars?
Do cars work on other cars? They work themselves? If a car works on itself, is it masturbation or self-service?
Yes. Cars 3. It's made by Disney and Pixar, like the other Cars movies. I think that this is the best movie in the Cars franchise.
Cars 3 surprised me. I came in expecting to fall asleep and maybe hate myself, but Cars 3 delivers a surprising amount of energy and fun for the reputation as the least fun Pixar franchise. Lightning McQueen is yet in another race but gets beaten out by the new car on the block, Jackson Storm. Facing this midlife crisis, Lightning McQueen decides to train and keep racing in order to beat this guy, meeting his new trainer, a yellow car named Cruz, and finding out what it means to actually race.
Yeah, this movie tries to take this direction, like, Lightning McQueen, he's out of it, he has this new up-and-coming challenger, he's gonna get better, get stronger, but it's a life journey where he sort of becomes self-aware of his age, and how when he was a rookie, he got taken up by a mentor and he became as good as he is now, and he's now transitioning into that mentorship role, and he's going to look after Cruz now, and Cruz is now going to be his racer.
Normally, Cars movies and these kinds of movies in general talk about that journey where that hero goes, he gets beat up, and he trains for like 5 minutes in a big montage and then comes out and kicks ass. This doesn't happen in this movie. Lightning trains and trains and trains, but he ends up getting nowhere, and he has to take a new approach in order to win this race. And what he did was actually very surprising to me in this movie. Even though you called it out, like around halfway into the movie, I was genuinely surprised by the direction that this movie took, which leads me to believe that the people that made this movie actually sort of cared about the reputation that Cars had and wanted to try and fix it.
Now on to the negatives of this movie. Tomato. God, I hate that guy. And I don't even know if they got Larry the Cable Guy to come in and voice him. I feel like they had just like leftover crap from the other two movies that they just sort of cut in. Because all he does is like, get her done. His role is minimal. Everything he says is gibberish. It makes no sense to the story. I feel like he's just there as a cameo. His role has been severely minimized.
Not like you wanted more Mater, because if there's more Mater, you would have complained about him anyway.
I complained about the amount of Mater that was in this movie.
Actually, most of the old characters don't have as big of a highlight in it as some of the new characters that they have. Obviously, because Pixar needs to make money and sell new Cars merchandise.
They also have to paint Lightning twice in this movie. Twice, so that you can buy 2 new models of Lightning McQueen.
Yep, I hope you're ready for the Lightning McQueen Super Special Awesome Shiny Edition Corvette Z6 whatever, only now at $14.95.
And the Super Special Awesome black paint version of Lightning McQueen.
Yeah. There's 3 different versions. Collect them all. Give Pixar more money because you know they deserve it. Most of the other characters in this movie that are old just don't really have as much screen time. So if you were attached to Sally or Mater or Doc, you won't see them as much. If in fact Doc Hudson you only see in flashbacks and cameos because he's dead. The visuals have a little bit of an upgrade to it. It's kind of nice that you can see some of the Cars dirt fringe when they get dirty. In the first Cars, you don't see this as much, but they've added some extra attention to the detail, which is kind of nice. In terms of the plot, I think it's a little slow in the first half. It's very cliche, and it goes through all the normal steps of a movie that you would go through. The hero's journey, how he's all kicking butt, how he gets his butt kicked, and how he has to come back from that.
Do
all
cars
of that.
have butts?
Do cars have butts? More on that in another video. But the plot is just very old and cliche in the first half, and there's nothing surprising there. It's only when you get to the second half and that twist comes and Lightning says, Cruz, we're putting you in. That's when it gets exciting. That's when it's like, oh my God, Lightning McQueen has finally learned what he's supposed to learn. He's taking these lessons, and now he's taking a completely different approach.
And then the movie ends 5 minutes later.
Our final thoughts is that this movie's better than what it would expect it to be. Cars 3 is pretty interesting. It surpassed my expectations of what it could have been, and it's actually a decent movie. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10, putting it right in the C mark. This isn't the normal Pixar blow your mind and cry your eyes out kind of movie, but it's actually not a bad experience.
I give this 7 tomatoes out of 10.
Does he even have any toes left in his life?
Wait,
No, the 10th one's free. That's part of his policy. If you get 9 toes in a month, the 10th one's free. If you have to redeem that, your car is like beyond terrible. Yeah, but seven toes out of 10.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's our opinion. Cars 3, we actually recommend watching it. Take a look.
Not in theaters, maybe on DVD.
I'm coming for you, Storm.
When they die, do they send them out to sea or bury them in the ground? When they get recycled, do their sons inherit their parts?
Oh my
You know how weird that'd be? Oh, this is my dad's tire. He used to drive it all the time out in Thunder Valley. I have to know.